May, are you there? I want to know just what the heck you think you're doing, huh? I mean, really, what is the matter with you? How could you do this to your own sister? How could you sleep with your own sister's husband? What in the world drove you to do that?
I was wondering when you were finally going to come to try and scold me like the old hag you are. But you can cry all you want. To me, it just sounds like the sobs of a sore loser.
A sore loser? You can't be serious, right? How dare you call me that? You realize you're in the wrong here, don't you?
Says you. Things seem to be going pretty well from where I'm standing. After all, Brian works for such a huge company and earns so much. Not to mention he's incredibly handsome. He was way too good for a fat, ugly nobody like you. Clearly, Brian deserves to be with someone more on his level. Someone like me. I guess you could say that him and I were destined to be together.
What are you talking about? Are you seriously trying to tell me that your soulmate was my husband?
Actually, that reminds me. Are you just reaching out to me because you finally got the divorce papers from Brian? Or because you heard that we were going to the courthouse to register ourselves as husband and wife?
It was the divorce papers, if you must know, and when I couldn't get a hold of Brian, I knew that I had to call you to get to the bottom of this.
Well, at least you know the truth. Brian and I are getting hitched! Isn't that amazing?
I still can't believe that you're doing this. It's just horrible. How can you even live with yourself doing this to your own sister?
Oh, please. Can't you just accept that this is over and done with? Anyways, hurry up and send off those divorce papers so we can get married. Thank you, sis. Hey there, Trish. How have you been? Can you believe it's been 5 whole years since we've last talked? What have you been up to lately? Are you still fat, ugly, and single?
Wait, is that really you, May? Wow, I was wondering when you were finally going to reach out to me again. But I should have known that you've barely even changed even after all this time.
Excuse me? And just what is that supposed to mean, huh?
You know exactly what it means. Now why are you messaging me? What do you want?
Whatever, I can let mean comments from a loser like you slide. Actually, I have some big news that I need to share with you. So, I guess we can just say that I'm being nice enough to ignore the snide remark that you made.
I don't really care what you do about that comment at this point. Just tell me what you're messaging me about.
So you really just want me to get straight to the point? No small talk or catching up after all this time?
May, do you have something you want to talk to me about or not? Because if not, then I don't see the point in carrying on like this.
You really are no fun, you know that? Fine. If you must know, next week I'm going to be coming home with my daughter!
Oh, wait, you're going to be coming with your daughter? I didn't even know that you had any children.
Well, I do. And that means that I gave our parents their very first grandchild. So, what do you think of that?
Well, how old is this daughter of yours?
She's 2 years old, if you must know.
2 years old? Is that really right?
Of course it is. You think I don't know how old my daughter is? Anyways, the reason that I'm coming home is because Brian and I got a divorce and I don't have anywhere else to go now. So, I'm coming back home.
Oh no, you mean that you two got a divorce? I thought that you were soulmates.
Can you believe it? I thought that we were soulmates too. That damn Brian quit his big fancy job and then took something that paid way less. He said some dumb thing about wanting to follow his dreams, and I know that that wasn't going to work out between us.
Hold on a second. So you're telling me that you went to the trouble of stealing your own sister's husband and then ended it all over a career change?
Sure, he might not have just become unemployed, but he took a job that paid so much less than what he used to get. I had no choice but to leave him, don't you see?
And now you want to come crawling back home because you have nowhere else to go?
I mean, that's a pretty nasty way of putting it, but the meaning is basically there.
And you really think that you can just disappear from all of our lives for 5 years and then just show up like nothing happened?
I think that when Mom and Dad see their favorite daughter come home with their first grandchild, that they might give me a break.
Well, we'll just see about that, won't we?
I suppose we will. Or rather, we would, but I have other plans. Namely, you're taking up too much space at Mom and Dad's house, and all you're going to do is get in the way of me. So, I need you out.
Sorry, you're trying to kick me out of the house. Do I understand that right?
Of course. What use even is there of keeping around some divorced old hag like you, huh? Nobody needs or wants you. Why do you think Brian left you when he realized that your sister was far superior to you, huh? I don't even know what he saw in you to begin with.
You know, I really don't think that you know what you're talking about right now at all.
And just what is that supposed to mean? Do you know something that I don't?
You could say that. For example, you aren't the one giving Mom and Dad their first grandchild.
What are you talking about? How is my daughter not their first grandchild?
Well, that would be because they already have a 4-year-old grandson, I'm afraid. In fact, they have 4 other grandchildren in addition to him.
Wait a second. You're telling me that you have 5 children? But that can't be right. I mean, you're such a fat, ugly cow. Who in the world would want to have kids with you?
Sorry, I guess I should have made that clear. It isn't that all 5 of the kids are my children.
What are you talking about them? Did you take in some strays off the street or something? Is this supposed to be some kind of plan to get Mom and Dad to like you more than they like me?
No, it's nothing like that, but as you know, we have a 3rd sister, right? Well, a few years ago, she married someone she was going to college with, and they started spitting out kids like nothing.
Hold on a second. You're telling me that Paula got married? Well, how many of the kids are hers then?
That's right. She got married, and her husband have 3 kids between the 2 of them now. Of course, she's the youngest of us, and we were all worried since she got pregnant her first year of college. But she stayed with her boyfriend, who's been really very supportive and responsible. As for me, I have a 2-year-old daughter and an 8-month-old son, so altogether our parents already have 5 grandchildren.
But, I mean, she's the youngest. But she gave our parents their first grandchildren. You have to be lying to me. I refuse to believe that you're telling me the truth. And how do you have 2 kids already? You're supposed to be alone forever.
You are right that some men in this world would hold having gotten divorced against a woman, but there are plenty of understanding men out there as well. Besides, it isn't like I've just been some shut-in ever since the last time we talked. For example, I still have my same job that I did when you fled.
But I don't get it. This wasn't how things were supposed to go.
Anyways, I feel like we've gotten a little bit off topic. But what were you saying about wanting to move back in with your daughter?
That's right. Even though I might not be bringing home Mom and Dad's first grandchild, I'm still their favorite daughter, and I know they'll love to have me come home. So, before I get there, I need you to move out of the house and make room for me. I don't care if you're there with your husband and kids. I want you all out.
But I don't even live with Mom and Dad anymore.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Yeah, a few months ago we were moving out of there, and now we're all gone from the house.
But that means that if you're gone, then I should just be able to move in without any issues, right?
I just really don't know if there would still even be a room left for you there, though.
What do you mean? If you and your family have all moved out, then there's got to be plenty of space for me there.
Do you even know where Mom and Dad's house is?
Of course I do! You really think that I don't have their address? Did you really think I was going to let something like that stop me from what I was doing? Thanks for telling me that you're gone. You've made this whole thing so much easier for me. Finally, tomorrow I can go home. Trish, are you there? What's going on? I don't understand. Where's the house? Why isn't the house where it's supposed to be? It's just a flat, empty lot now?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Mom and Dad were doing their best to stay there and keep the house. But in the end, they decided that it would just be easier to sell the whole thing and downsize.
So you're telling me that Mom and Dad sold their house and moved away?
That's right. Although I don't really know about how much they sold it for or who they sold it to, but I guess whoever owns the property now had some reason to get rid of the house. But then again, it was getting quite old, and I don't even know how safe it was to be inside.
But what about Mom and Dad? Well, where are they living now? What did they do after they moved?
Well, I told you about how a few months ago my husband and I were getting ready to move out, right?
That's right. You told me that you were all getting ready to move out of their house, but where did Mom and Dad go after that?
I guess I should have been more clear. It wasn't just my family that was doing that. Mom and Dad moved out then as well. They applied for a waiting list at a retirement home and have been renting an apartment until an opening comes along.
You mean that Mom and Dad are going to try and move into a retirement home?
I mean, they aren't exactly spring chickens anymore, you know? So they're in a pretty small space for the time being so that they can save up their money for when they move into the home. That's why I said that I really don't think that there would even be a room for you if you did move there.
But surely they must have some room for me. I mean, I'm their prettiest and favorite daughter, right?
I really think that you're the only one who thinks of yourself in that way. Because I'm pretty sure that our parents actually all love us equally.
No, that can't be true. How could you say something so awful?
I mean, if anything, you're now their least favorite after how you stole my husband from me. In fact, you should know that they told me if you ever show up in our lives again trying to ask for help, that they would have no problem turning you down right away.
But then, where am I supposed to go? Trish, are you there? I really need you right now. It's just terrible.
What is it this time, May? What could you possibly want from me now?
Are you really living in Brian's parents' house? What is going on? I want answers right now.
What are you talking about? I seriously have no idea what you're going on about.
I mean that after I learned about Mom and Dad's plans to move into a retirement home, I didn't have anywhere else to go. So then I tried going back to Brian's parents' place to try and patch things up with him. We were renting an apartment together before, but I know that he canceled the lease after we got divorced. So I thought that he might have gone back to live with his parents for the time being, but then when I got to his parents' house, I saw that your car was parked in their parking lot. Also, it wasn't even their house that was there anymore. Their house had been demolished and replaced with this really amazing-looking mansion?
Oh, that's what you're talking about. I guess that means that you were that sad-looking lady with her daughter that I saw staring from my window.
How dare you call me that? Just tell me what's going on right this instant. I want answers!
Right. I guess maybe I should have explained this to you the last time we talked, but the man that I got married to after you ran away was actually Brian's cousin.
Wait, what? You married Brian's cousin? But hold on. Isn't Brian's cousin that genius entrepreneur who was on the cover of all those finance magazines?
Yeah, actually, now that you mention it, I think that he has had a couple of interviews and photo shoots and stuff like that.
But then that still doesn't explain how Brian's cousin ended up owning Brian's parents' house. How did that happen?
Well, that happened about 5 years ago, actually, not long after you and Brian ran off with each other. Brian's mom was so shocked by what her son had done that she actually had to be hospitalized.
Wait, really? Are you serious about that?
Yep, I'm very serious about it. But I guess that you two were so caught up with what you were doing that you never heard about that happening. But anyways, Brian's parents just wanted a new start and got out of that house as soon as possible. So their nephew offered to buy their land for a good price so that they could get out right away. It wasn't long after that that we bumped into each other while running. Sparks flew, and the rest is history, pretty much. He demolished the house, and we built up a new one, and here we are.
But if his cousin bought the house from his parents, then what happened to Brian? I was sure that he would have gone back to live with his parents.
Actually, now that you say that, Brian stopped by here just a couple of days ago.
Hold on. Brian was here just a couple of days ago?
Yeah, that's right. He, like you, thought that his parents' house would still be here waiting for him. But the only person who was home then was his cousin, who explained to him what happened. Of course, he didn't give Brian his parents' new address. After Brian realized he wasn't going to get anywhere with his cousin, he just wandered off dejectedly.
Well, it would have been good to know all of this before I came all the way here.
I guess so. It's not really my problem either way. If you want to try and get back together with Brian, that is completely up to you. Either way, I want you to leave me out of it and stay away from my house. My husband and I don't want anything to do with you or whatever you're scheming.
But I don't have anywhere to go. You know that.
Well, don't think that you can come to me asking for help, because I have nothing to say to you at all. Got it?
But you're my sister. You can't do this to me. Please, you have to help me. We're supposed to be there for each other at times like these, right?
Oh, please. When were you ever there for me? You literally disappeared from all of our lives for 5 years, and now you think you're entitled to our help? You have some nerve even thinking that that's an option for you. Just leave me alone.
Trish, please don't do this to me! You're all I have left.
You lost me a long time ago, May. Now just go away and leave me alone forever. After that, May ran up to my front door and started ringing the doorbell over and over again. She never stopped until I finally called the police on her and they told her to get off my property. After that, I never ever saw her again. Although according to some friends of friends who were still connected to my sister, she ended up moving in with some old friend, but she could never find Brian or anyone else to marry for that matter. I even heard that she ended up giving up her child for adoption since she could no longer take care of her. I never mentioned this to May, but Brian's parents actually ended up paying me off so that I wouldn't pursue their son for his infidelity. Not only that, but both May and Brian's parents ended up cutting them out of their wills. Although, I guess they have no way of knowing any of that now. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Hi, Rose. I was wondering if... Did you make a reservation at the hotel I work at? I looked at the reservation list today. I saw a name that sounded like you. Hi, Leah. Yes, actually my family were talking about having a trip together. I knew the name was yours. Our hotel is a luxury hotel. Are you okay with that? Also, for your room, didn't you get a pretty good one? I'm not worried about the money. If I didn't have any money, I wouldn't have booked the room. Really? Your family isn't very wealthy, right? If it's too much, I'll cancel the reservation as soon as possible. I've always wondered, why do you assume we're poor? I'm not one to say, but we're not poor. There you go, saying stuff like that. Rose, you hang out with all of us celebrity moms, but you're the one who doesn't fit in. What do you mean? Am I doing something off? Don't you realize it? The fact that you clearly don't belong, you don't realize it. That's rude. I'm sorry. It's just that you are always the only one who dresses like they're poor, and it's funny. I wash my clothes every day, and I try to keep them clean, but that's not the point. We're celebrities. Wear luxury brand clothing or go to a beauty salon. I'm just saying to do these things. I'm not interested in those brands. It's not that you're not interested, it's that you can't afford it. No, if I'm going to spend money on a luxury brand item, I'd rather spend it on my family or go on a vacation together. Don't you think it'd be more meaningful to spend it on something like that? Because you can't afford it. You can't spend it on yourself, right? That's just an excuse. We're not as poor as you think. Well, I don't care what you think. So, what are you going to do? About what? The reservation at the hotel. There's no cancellation fee now. I could cancel it for you. I'm not canceling. My in-laws are looking forward to it. I'd feel sorry for them if I had to cancel. What? You're bringing your in-laws? Yes, is there a problem? Our hotel is a prestigious, high-quality luxury hotel. All our guests are young. And you have elderly people coming here? Don't call them that. You are right. There may be young guests at that hotel, a lot of them. But there are also elderly guests, aren't there? I don't want old people coming to my hotel. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to cancel your reservation. Huh? If you do that, you will have a hell of a time. No. It's more like hell for elder people to come to a fancy hotel, somewhere more suited for them. I'm sure they would want to stay there. That's right. There's a cheap business hotel nearby. I can make reservations there for you. This is a service for being a mom friend. It's none of your business. We're not going to cancel. We will stay at the hotel as planned. Please don't ever do anything stupid. You're poor and bratty. If you keep acting like this, I'm going to have to kick you out of the group again. Can you do that, Leah? Yes, I can. I'm more of a celebrity than you are. At least I have a voice more than you. You think you do. That type of authority, your other mom friends don't think you have it. Huh? Are you trying to fight me? I'm a human being and I do get angry. You piss me off. I'm sorry. I may have gotten a little emotional myself. Well, I'll see you on the day. I'm not letting you guys stay here. The day of the trip. Leah, it looks like you really did it. Are you at the hotel by any chance? You didn't have a reservation, did you? I canceled your reservation because elderlies are dirty. Just stay at a business hotel. I'm trying to preserve the atmosphere and quality of an upscale hotel. Don't resent me. You better look for your next job. Huh? What are you talking about? Instead of where I work, where you're going to stay isn't your worry? If you don't find a place to stay on the day of the celebration, you'll end up camping out. You don't have to worry about that. So, you're not going to stay at a business hotel? No, I'm not. I'm going to stay at the hotel as planned. Huh? But I canceled the reservation. I removed your names from the list. Out of everyone, our reservation being cancelled shows you don't know who we are. Are you kidding? To cancel a poor person's reservation is not a big deal. I did it for the sake of the hotel. As I imagined about us, you don't know anything, do you? What? Actually, my father-in-law is this hotel's group company's president. What? You're kidding! It's true. You should at least remember your boss's name. Wait, you're kidding, right? Want me to send you a picture of my father-in-law's face? It's on the hotel's homepage. His picture is on the hotel's webpage. I'm sure you'll find it if you look it up. If you're telling me all this, it must be true. It's true. And to top it off, my husband is the next president of the company. He's already taken over some parts of the company. He's going to take over as president within the 6 months. I've never heard any of it. Why didn't you tell me? I didn't think it was necessary to tell you. You should have told me. I'll re-reserve it right away. I'm off today, but I'll be heading to the hotel. That won't be necessary. Like I said before, the reservation wasn't cancelled. But I'm sure I did. The hostess. She noticed that our reservation was cancelled and called me. I thought it must have been your doing. The fact that you cancelled without permission was noticed right away, luckily. In the meantime, some other guests could have made a reservation. I'm glad it didn't get booked. I see. I'm glad to hear that. There's nothing good for you, though. The hostess and my father-in-law are both very angry. Oh, I'm not getting fired, am I? They really want to fire you right away. But they can't just cut off the employee. So they're going to go through trouble. Please! I'll get down on my knees, beg, and do whatever you want me to do. Please don't fire me. Of course you'll apologize. Have you heard from the hostess? I just came in. She wants me to come to the hotel right away and apologize to the boss. I'll be waiting for you. Let me tell you something. My father-in-law can be very scary when he's angry, so be prepared. A few hours later. For the trouble I've caused you? I'm so sorry. In the future, I'll never do anything like this again. After being punished by my father-in-law, you seem to come to your senses. Of course. But your father-in-law... I didn't think he was the president of the company. And your husband is the next president of the company. Well, it's understandable that you're surprised. When we were dating, the fact that he was the boss of a group company, I was never told. Oh, really? He didn't like it when people came to him because of his money. It's an enviable position to be in. The reason why you used to hang out with a lot of celebrity moms is because you were one. I'm not a celebrity, it's just that my husband's family is pretty amazing. My family is a normal businessman's family. A woman from a businessman's family being married to a CEO? I'm so jealous. Really? My wife isn't any different from when I lived at home. Even though we can afford it. You never know what might happen. I think you should make your move as soon as possible. I think it's better for you. Wait, what are you talking about? Are you sure you haven't heard anything? About what? I'm sorry. Forget what I said before. This is not something I should be telling you. Hey, you're bothering me. Tell me. Maybe you'll know when you go in tomorrow. The next day. Hey, I just got fired from the hotel. What's going on? Didn't you hear what the hostess said? All I heard was that I got fired. I thought I heard her say something. I just went blank and ran out the door. Ran out. You only got the notice. They didn't tell you you didn't have to come in though, right? You have to work until the end. Who works when they know they're getting fired? What kind of idiot does? To not work until the promised date? I think it's more stupid. Aside from it, if you know why I was fired, tell me. I just don't get it. You don't even have awareness. The main reason is your attitude. What? I was working hard for a celebrity client. I was a good hostess. Leah, depending on a client, you changed your attitude. Older client or a young college couple, in your perspective, to those who didn't seem to have a lot of money, you were being rude to them, like you were to me. Even if you didn't cancel a reservation without permission, you wouldn't greet people or talking bad behind their backs. I mean, our hotel is a luxury hotel, right? It's their fault for not realizing they're at a wrong place. I'm surprised with those beliefs. You didn't get fired until now. Well, the hostess, she told me several times that there won't be a next time. She must have lost her patience. Hey, can't you do something about this whole layoff? I still want to work at that hotel. I can't do anything. If you want to work at a hotel so badly, why don't you go to another one? By the way, there's a business hotel nearby that I heard we're looking for part-time employees. I don't want to work at a business hotel. I've always dreamed of working at a luxury hotel. Then why don't you work at another luxury hotel? I don't know if any are hiring, but why don't you look around? I did. They don't have anything better than this. Others are only looking for part-time workers, or the pay is much lower. And they also require you to work on Saturdays or Sundays. The conditions are very strict. Then why don't you give up working at a hotel? Like I said, I really like that hotel. Please don't have me fired. Why are you so obsessed with that hotel? Maybe there's something else? There's something that will become an issue if I get fired from that hotel. What? My husband and in-laws love that hotel. They gave us an employee discount, so for anniversary they used it. Because if you're an employee, your family members can stay at the hotel for half price. That's right. But of course, if I get laid off, I couldn't use the employee discount. At a hotel where I was laid off, I can't show up there. It's your own fault. To your family, because of your attitude, you were laid off. You have to let them know that. If I told them that, my husband and my in-laws, I don't know what they'll say. They're scary when they're angry. And if I don't have a place to work, how will I pay back my debts? Leah, you have debt? Oh my god. I shouldn't have said that. You called me poor, but you were in debt yourself. Shut up! You can't tell anyone I'm in debt. I won't tell anyone. If you told anyone, you won't get a pass. I said I won't tell anyone. Well, good luck with your job search. Hey! You said you talked to the boss. What happened? What? When did I tell you that? Your mom friend is in desperate need of help. Of course you're going to help her, right? No, I'm not going to help you. For all the trouble you've caused the hotel and our guests, If anything, I'd like you to apologize for it all. That's terrible. You're such a cold person. Whatever. Sorry. If you don't have anything important to say, I'll leave you alone. The next day, I got into a huge fight with my husband because I got fired. He found out about the debt. He left me. You told him about the debt? I had to tell him because of the way things were going. I was going to pay it off alone without letting anyone know. By the way, how much is that debt? What? Are you offering to take over the debt for me? No, I am not. I was just wondering how much you owe. Right now it's about $30,000. Is it possible that your debt is from buying brand name clothes or expensive beauty treatments? That's where you used your money on. How did you know? I could tell from looking at your daily life. You come from a family of businessmen, yet she always wears brand name clothes. And when you go out for lunch, you try to show off and always order the most expensive menu, right? I thought your family was rich or something, but I guess that wasn't the case. I'm surprised you don't run out of money. I mean, I wanted to be one of the celebrities. Even in kindergarten, to make celebrity friends, I chose a good school. I didn't know that. Why did you want rich friends? I thought if my friends were celebrities, I'd be seen as one too. My family, we couldn't eat proper meals because we were poor, so to be seen as poor, I had enough of it. I was harassed many times because of my poor family. But you did to me the same thing, didn't you? After knowing how it feels to be treated as poor, why did you do the same thing to me? It was like looking at my old self and I didn't like it. The other thing is, your other mom friends adored you and I simply envied it. Your looks don't attract, and obviously poor looking. I couldn't forgive you for being more popular than me. But to be harassed by you isn't the right thing, is it? That's not very mature. Shut up! It's not your fault for making me jealous, and you're taking away my job. Why do you always blame others? Don't you think it's your fault, even just a little? I didn't do anything wrong. If you don't apologize to me, I'm cutting ties with you. Is that what you want? Okay, I get it. To be honest with you, I don't want to be involved anymore. Well, so what a great opportunity. Let's take this opportunity to break it off. I'm going to tell all my friends about you. About what? I'm going to tell them because I got in the way, you used your family's power to have me fired. I'm also going to tell them that you verbally abused me through text, and that you hurt my feelings. I'm sure everyone will leave your side. Those who would leave because of that, I think that's just fine. Just means that they're that type of person. I'll just let it go. But what if they all leave? Most families in elementary school go up the escalator. Most families go to the same school. It wouldn't be good for your kid to be left alone, would it? Don't worry, I have a lot of good friends. In fact, they are still on my side. They're all texting me, giving me words of encouragement, and sending them to me. What do you mean? Maybe you haven't noticed. For our trip, how you tried to cancel it without our permission? How you were fired due to poor work ethic? How your family left because of your own action? But you blamed it on me. That is all known throughout. What? On your socials, you've been posting as if it's my fault, but everyone believes me. They all say they don't want to be in a relationship with you anymore. You're kidding, right? It's true. In fact, just recently, when you're not involved in the text group, I got an invite. Oh my god! Well, it looks like all the other mom friends have been invited. I don't know who's going to be more alone. Wait! Invite me too! Of course not. In the first place, with you, we wanted to cut ties and created the group chat. So rude! You're just trying to get rid of me. You deserved it. Well, I'm not going to try and be friends with you. I'm going to block you. At least don't let your family go. Good luck with that. Goodbye. After this text, with Leah there is no contact. After that, her and her husband were living separately, but after a while, her and her husband decided to divorce. Her husband took custody of the child as a request of the child. Leah had to pay for her husband's and child support for their child. She is now having to repay that money and make monthly child support payments, and getting pushed to the edge. To look down on people based on their own perception may be the reason for this punishment. For me not to be like her, to continue treating people without prejudice, I would like to do as such.